Let me welcome you to this new broadcast on the culture of waste in this part of the world. Before I go on, if you are above age 40, this broadcast no concern you. Please delete this video or move away from this channel now. I am not addressing you. Give me space to address your children. I mean teenagers, guys in their 20s and perhaps in their early 30s. The generation of people in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, I am not sorry to say, have caused more problem for these younger ones with their culture of extravagance, unrealistic lifestyle expectation, impulsive buying and emotional spending, sheer consumerism, materialism, and peer pressure. My friends, I love you. I strongly desire to tell you some secrets. Please be careful with the generation of your parents. I mean my generation. I have been able to look at the errors my generation made, and I don't want your generation to fall into it. Don't repeat the errors your parents made in their lives. Don't allow them drag you into their errors, because when you don't learn from their histories, you are doomed to repeat it. I hope these old cargoes have gone. Chop knock, my guy. Let's talk. Let's talk. More often than not, I have seen how this old cargo generation waste money through ceremonies like burials, weddings, or namings. Look at some white men where life have a better meaning. Some will take their parents and few members of their families to churches where they are pronounced husband and wives. Some, when they lose their parents, their daddies, their mummies, they take them straight to where they are to be buried, and that is all. But in this part of the world, we engage in wastage of money over flimsy things that we don't even need to spend money on. I am not saying because the white men don't do it that they are right, no, but I am assessing the implications of what we do with money. Money we work very hard for. So many people in Africa struggle hard to make money, what I call capital formation. But our sense of judgment on the usage of the capital is very weak, very, very poor. Because more often than not, we want to impress people with our spending. We bother too much on what people will say if we don't spend money or we don't do these things. Permit me to tell you this story that happened a few years ago at a barber's shop very close to my house here. I was there and I met a guy whom I know as single, and he was receiving call from somewhere. But from what I heard him say on phone as I was waiting on the barber to attend to me, I found out that this guy was married. And I asked him, when did you get married that you did not even invite us? And he said, it was a very quiet wedding, intentionally quiet. I do not have that kind of money to spend on frivolities. He told me that for his wedding, he was able to raise about 3 million naira. I mean, he and his wife were able to raise about 3 million naira, and they were ready to spend that money on the wedding. He said that around that time he ran into a kind of CD by a pastor that spoke on the wastages we engage in this part of Africa. He said he began to wonder, why must they spend these 4 million naira on wedding that will last for only one day, and later they will face a lot of financial hardship. He said he sent the CD to his wife to be, and then the lady listened to it, and then the lady called him back and said, look, my dear, we need to be very careful about this spending, no. They cancelled all the printings they wanted to do. They cancelled all the, event center they wanted to book. Can you imagine? They were to pay 1 million naira for an event center that will host them for less than 5-6 hours. They agreed that the wedding will be done in the presence of their parents in their sitting room. And on Sunday, they will go to church for the blessing. I asked him, so what happened to the money you people raised? He said, my wife inherited a parcel of land from her mother at Ibafu, somewhere in Ogun State here. A month before the wedding, we went there with a bricklayer. With less than 3 million naira, which we would have wasted on the wedding, we commenced work on the building. After the wedding, I took my parents to the building. They were impressed to see what we have done with the money. Her parents and I were even glad to give us more money to do the roofing. We moved into this house 6 months after our parlor wedding. I asked him, when you canceled the big wedding plans and went quiet on it, what did your parents say? He said it was like betraying my mother. She said that she had participated in the weddings of so many people. Now it was our own time to gather people to enjoy with her. I refused her that singular honor. My wife's mommy was deceased, according to him. I do not know her, but her mother's siblings were ready to help them with the money to do the wedding. But his wife collected the money from these people and later told them that, look, we have cancelled the wedding. We are not doing any big wedding any longer. It was too late for them to ask for the money from them there. And with all this money, they started the building in Libafu. None of them could ask her to refund the money. We thought they would be unhappy and feel cheated, but when they saw what we did with the money, they were very impressed. So many of them said they would prescribe our model for their children. Some of them have come to spend time with us in our house. These are sensible couples. My guy, this new couple will not pay rent for the rest of their lives. They are starting as a victor in life. There is a need for a paradigm shift, my guy. There is a need to restructure our understanding. Many of us unknowingly waste money on burials, on weddings, on naming ceremonies that last for just one day, perhaps a few hours, just to impress people. A wedding ceremony is just for one day. Marriage is for life. People prepare for wedding more than they prepare for marriage. Some of the clothes you bought for your wedding, especially that bogus white gown, you might not wear it again for life. That white gloves that you wore on your wedding, they only worked for one day. And there's this thing they press all over on a couple when they are coming out there. I heard that maybe just one bottle of such thing is about 5,000 naira. Some people will buy about 5. They will buy about 10. That's about 50,000 naira. And in less than 2 minutes, 50,000 naira is gone. My brother, my son, my guy, what a shame. Know what? We don't even limit such extravagance and wastage to ourselves. We spread it to family and friends. We ask them to take what the Yoruba people call ashoebi for the weddings. Some will even have to go and borrow money to buy such ashwebi. Go to some wardrobe, some women's wardrobe. You will find gele is as tall as this. You will find Ankara is as tall as this there. Why do we engage in such extravagance? Some of what buy gele and Ankara, lace and drank wine and we ate orichirichi at weddings of marriages that do not last 6 months. Some people still have some ashwebi of weddings that are broken. Later, they will say marriage is not a must. There is no marriage in heaven. All because they prepared for the wedding. They were not prepared for marriage. They spent so much on wedding materials. They did not buy just one book for marriage. Wastages. The wastages that happen in a backward society like ours, all because we want to create impression. Please, people who will not feature in your life when the challenges of life come. People who will not remember what they ate at your party or come to thank you the next day for the extravagance and your thoughtlessness. Let us start questioning some of these things we do under pressure of impressing people. You are not in this world to impress anyone. You are running your race just as I am running mine. My guy, this life is an examination hall. Don't copy the answers of your friends, because we all have different question papers. Let us be careful with unrealistic lifestyle expectations, sheer consumerism, materialism, and peer pressure. If you don't have the will to control yourself or have in place effective strategy for managing impulsive buying and emotional spending, you may find yourselves making financial decisions based on immediate gratification rather than long-term financial planning and well-being. Wedding is done when parents of the guy and the girl or the lady agree that their children are married. The rest is ceremony. Go to church for blessing. Enough of writing letters to people all over the place that I want to do my wedding tomorrow. What can you do for me? How much can you give me? Some will buy clothes, shoes, cakes, and buy drinks that they cannot immediately pay for. They start banking on the money they will get from people spraying them. When these expectations are not met, then there will now be problem between the seller of those clothes or the baker of that cake and the new couple. My guy, think. The money they can't give you to do good things in life, they are ready to raise it so that you can fritter it on wedding, so that you can fritter it on burials. Go to them after the burial, go to them after the wedding for assistance to start business. They will tell you they don't have any money. Even your friends won't raise cash for you when you want to do business, but they can contribute money to do bachelor's eve. They can contribute money to buy beer that they will drink at your burial or they will drink at your wedding. There is a need for a paradigm shift, my friend. There is a need to excavate the superstructure of our thinking so that we can check where we have gone wrong. You have no reason to please anybody. Run your race. Live your life. I hope you have gained something, my friends. Guess what you are doing? Mentoring masterclass. I love you. Bye.